Assalamualaikum and good morning, dear Council. Welcome to our conference for this session. Our conference will be begin now. I'm pleased to welcome you all to the Budget 2020 proposal for public expenditure of Ministry Women's Family and Community Development. Public budget can be defined as a detailed plan or expressed in the quantity terms that will be specified how the resources will be acquired. There is two categories of public budget, which is the public expenditure and public revenue. Public expenditure is the way in which public resources are allocated and managed in the pursuit of fiscal discipline, strategy prioritization, and value for money. However, fiscal discipline is often the priority. Public revenue is the government revenue and national revenue, which is the money was received by the government from the tax on the income and wealth accumulation of individual and corporation and for the goods and the service produced, even import and export and non-taxes sources in order to enable the undertake government expenditure. Allow me to welcome and introduce our honorable member who will present the argument and speech at this conference. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Akiful Izani bin Muhammad Zuki as the moderator for this session. And for our first presenter, we have Nur Alis Kamilia. Second presenter, we have Shafaisal Ismail. Third presenter, Nur Najwa Kurata Aini. And our last presenter, we have Nazatul Azwa. First of all, I would like to ask our first presenter to explain about the profile of the ministry. The first presenter, you may start now.
Thank you for the moderator. As the first presenter, I would like to clarify the profile of the ministry. The first is the background of the ministry. The Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development early in its establishment was known as the Ministry of Women's Affairs, which was announced by the Prime Minister on 17 January 2001. On 50 February 2001, the ministry's functions were extended to the Ministry of Women and Family Development. The establishment of the Ministry of Women and Family Development is a manifestation of the implementation of national commitment at the Fourth World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995, contained in the Action Tracking Document to Advance Women to 2000. On 27 March 2004, the functions of the Ministry of National Unity and Community Development were dissolved and transferred to the Ministry of Family Development. In this regard, the Ministry of Women and Development the Ministry of Women and Family Development was renamed as the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development, which is KPWKM. The next is vision of profile of the ministry. The vision is to be the main leader to achieve gender equality, a caring society, family development, society and prosperity as the basis for the formation of a developed country. The next is mission of profile of the ministry. The mission is integrate the perspective of women and society into the mainstream of national development as well as strengthening families and the direction of improving social well-being. The last is that I want to clarify that is the objective profile of the ministry. The first objective that is preserve the rights of women, families and society fairly and equitably without discrimination. The second that is increase the participation and active participation of women, families and the community as contributors and beneficiaries of national development. That's all from me. Thank you. I go back to the moderator.
Thank you to our first presenter to clarify the profile of the ministry. Now, I would like to invite our second presenter to present about the issue that have been facing by the ministry. So, the second presenter, you may start now.
Thank you to moderator. Okay, the first issue that's confirmed by our ministry is unfair selection of aid recipients, such as single mothers, couples, and senior citizens. Okay, as we all know, the issue of unfair distribution of aid and particularly to the needy community is often a hot topic among netizens, especially in the comment section on social media. Okay, this is also the case in the selection of aid recipients among single mothers, the poor, and the elderly. The selection of aid recipients through a list of names proposed by the intermediaries, such as penghulu or Ketua Kampung, is seen as incomplete due to the existence of elements of the basis of political interest. Okay, apart from that, there is also the possibility that listing of names that are seen in quite biased because the selection is made based on the individual who are close and known, especially among relatives. Okay, for this issue, we suggest to provide the program that called Target Group Data Collection Counter or TGDC Counter. Okay, this project is a program in the form of services where it is more to a counter provider to collect data of recipients of assistance for the target group of single mother, couples, and senior citizens. Okay, TGDC counter service is implemented by obtaining information or data of aid recipients directly from the grassroots level without using intermediaries such as penghulu or ketua kampung. Okay, for the initial stage, TGDC counter will be only be done in the two states of East Coast region, namely Terengganu and Kelantan, to facilitate the implementation of data collection. Okay, this counter will be placed in the main mosque for each such district in each district, which because the majority of the people in this region are Muslim. Okay, for the project objective, the first objective is to provide the financial assistance for the people who are deserved. Okay, one of TGD's counter objective is to help the people who are really need financial assistance, so that it could make sure that they have enough financial, especially single mother, to raise up their children as well. Because the program is provide the mobile counter service, so it could help to collect the precise data of aid recipients. Okay, the second objective is to prevent the bias during the distribution of aids. It is important to identify about the applicant's background and personal data because in order to have the good distribution and spend the aids for those who really need and to avoid from bias as well. Okay, based of the applicant form, we could know that the background of the applicant who are really needs the financial assistance or not. So we can make sure the distribution of aid for those who are less fortunate based on the based of the application form. Okay, for the expected result, because what we expect is collect the precise data of the aid recipient. Okay, based on the application form of program, it will provide the precise data of the single mothers, couple, and senior citizen. And then the TGDDC counter to give the people who less fortunate to have the opportunity to have the financial assistance in order to reduce the burden. Okay, for the second one aspect is to reduce the burden of people who less fortunate. Okay, through this TGDDC counter, the data of the people who deserve to be collected and the less fortunate will be given in the first priority to get the financial assistance. Okay, the distribution of aid will be given based on the level of distress of the people. Okay, about the implementing agency or agencies, apart from involving the social welfare department at the state and district level, TGDC counter will be implemented in collaboration with most community members and RELA members. Okay, a total of 2 RELA members will be stationed at each counter to distribute and collect forms from applicants before being handed over to the district social welfare department staff on duty. Okay, after being collected, this application form will be inspected and investigated by the official of district social welfare department before submitting a list of eligible applicants to the state department of social welfare for confirmation of distribution of aid. Okay, about the project location. Okay, location chosen to replace this counter is at the selected masjid of each district. The selection of this location is intended to the ensure that the aid application form can be distributed comprehensively to the grassroots level. Okay, the selection of the this mosque is also based on the capacity of the congregation and the strategic location that is the focus of the resident to perform Friday prayers. Okay, for the proposed duration, starting date and ending dates. Okay, we propose to have this program for 2 days, which is on Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. for distribute the complex application, and for Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for checking and collect the form application. Okay, the duration of this program is starting date from 15 January 2021 and ending date is in 16 January 2021. Okay, TDC counter will be open on Friday for the proposed solution of form and Saturday for the proposed submission from applicant and applicant representative. Okay, the purpose of the Friday sector is to ensure that the information of the existence of the TDC council can reach all residents because men will gather to perform Friday prayers. Okay, that's all from me. Okay, I will come back to moderator.
Could you be more detailed about the allocation request of the program?
Okay, for the allocation request, okay, for staff Rela, we hired for 2 days for 114 members. So multiply with 1 hour, which 8 ringgit per hour. It will be RM 4,560. And then for their meals, for lunch, so the total is ringgit Malaysia 912. And then for tea time is RM 570. Okay, for the facilities, for counter tables, total of table which 57 tables multiply with 40 ringgit, so it will be 2,280 ringgit. And for the chairs, it will be 1,140 ringgit. Okay, total budget is 9,462. So total budget for 12 week and facilities is 75,924 ringgit. Okay, that is for the electronic request for this program. Back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you for our second presenter. Now I would like to invite our third presenter to explain about the program that could counter the main issue in the ministry. Our third presenter, you have your words now. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nona Jafrata Muhammad. I am the third presenter. So I will explain about the second project that our ministry wants to provide, which is COVID assistance to women, especially single mother. This project wants to be made to overcome the issue of most women, especially single mother, at Kelantan face financial problems due to COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, the purpose of this program carried out in the form of financial assistance, food and internet resources to help ease the burden of women, especially single mother that affected by the COVID-19. This project will be focused for 3 months, starting at 7 January 2021 and ending at 8 March 2021. But if the cases of COVID-19 still increasing, it will be continued. So the objective of this program is first to reduce burden of single mother during the pandemic of COVID-19. So with the help of iCovid assistance, it will help in terms of finance, internet, and also basic necessities such as rice, oil, sugar, and others. So it will be able to reduce the burden of single mother during the COVID-19 pandemic, as many single mothers are affected by their income during this pandemic due to job issues, which is they lost their jobs and also unable to continue their business. Second objective is to reduce poverty among women. So the purpose of poverty eradication among single mothers is to build resilient families to achieve an optimal balance between growth, community development. Particular emphasis is also given to single mother to say that they formulate strategic action plans that outline education and training programs and approaches to facilitate the involvement of single mothers in income generating activities. So the implementing agencies for this project is non-government organizations, which is the NGO. And then second, village head and then Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, JKM. Okay, for the cost benefit analysis, this issue of financial problems among women, especially single mothers during pandemic COVID-19 at Kelantan, keeps happening because of the increase of cases COVID-19 in Malaysia. So, initiative must be taken to help them from starving during this pandemic. Thus, this iCovid assistance shall be made to help women or single mother in terms of financial assistance, food and internet for children's schooling. So, when this project is available to be made, it can reduce the burden of women, especially single mother at Kelantan. Thank you. Go back to the moderator.
All right. How about the allocation request of the program?
Allocation requested for this program, the first matter is the rent of vehicles for 400 ringgit. And then the need of internet for single mothers, children that total 100 ringgit for each family for 3 months. So the total of the family is 500 people. And then total for internet budget is 150,000 ringgit. Next, for the basic need, which is dry foods, also total 100 ringgit for each family for 3 months. So total of single mother in Kelantan, 1,890. So total for the basic need budget is 567,000 ringgit. And then lastly, for the money donation to the single mother, there are two categories, which are M40 for 500 ringgit and B40 for 800 ringgit for 3 months. The total of this donation is 1,200,000. So all the total budget for this project is 1,970,000 and 400 ringgit. Okay, that's all for the second project for Ministry Women, Family and Community Development. Thank you.
Thank you to our third presenter. Now I'm pleased our last presenter to have a words and brief about the issue in the ministry. The fourth presenter, you have your words now.
Okay, thank you to our moderator Atiful Izani. As the fourth presenter, I am Nadato Atwa Ismail, and today I will explain about the third program that we have proposed to do it. The third issue is homeless people in Kuala Lumpur have food problems during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is because this pandemic causes people who always give food at for homeless people have trouble going to their place often. It is due to compliance with the SOP policy set by KKM throughout the transmission of COVID-19. So this project want to be provided to help homeless people by putting food bank in their place. To overcome this issue, we have decided to do program that we have been named is Food Bank for Homeless. Why we choose this program is because it can help the homeless who find it difficult to find food suppliers during the COVID-19 pandemic that has hit our country. Also, it's very easy for homeless people because it's program where we provide a food bank in three main places, which is Chowkit, Masjid Negara, and also Masjid Indian. Then we prepare dinner 3 times a week for 3 months for 3 places that we choose. For our objective of this project is to distribute packed nutritious foods and clean water, which is mineral water, in the main city area where have many homeless. The second objective of this project is to encourage sponsorship, assistance, and involvement of volunteers to distributing the food. This objective to cultivate the nature of helping the homeless people. So it can also help homeless people at Kuala Lumpur to face current issue of this COVID-19 pandemic. For the cost benefit analysis, it can reduce the poverty of hunger in homeless group. Okay, that's all from me, and we back to our moderator.
Thank you to our fourth presenter. But may I know about the allocation request of the program?
Yes, sure. Sure. For allocation requester of food bank for homeless, we have dry food, which budget 5,400 ringgit, and second packaged food for 1,280 homeless, which is budget 115,470 ringgit, and for cupboards we have budget 1,060 ringgit and 1,600 ringgit, and for vehicle we have 200 ringgit, and staff we have total budget is 7,020 ringgit, and the rental place we have 4,500 ringgit, and the total of budget is 164,190 ringgit. Okay, that's all.
Thank you to our four presenter that explained about the ministry and program, a very detailed explanation. So what I can conclude is all these three programs that have been discussed for the Ministry of Women's, Family and Community Development have their own advantage, objective and aims toward this ministry. For example, TGDC counter to collect the data of single mother, I-COVID assistance to women to help the financial assistance, and providing the food bank for homeless is to help the less fortunate people. Lastly, I as moderator apologize if there are many mistakes in my speech or behavior, either intentionally or unintentionally. And thank you for your attention and see you later.